"Take my card, Browne," I said as I shoved it into his nervous mitt.
What are you scoping for, Barlowe?
"I want the dope on a dizzy skirt with the moniker Felda Grand."
Take it on the heel and toe, Barlowe. I don't know the dame. Why should I?
"She had glims for the bright lights, and you're a talent scout, so I'll bet my flogger that you've rubbed elbows with her."
A hunch like that won't get you further than the first drugstore, Barlowe. Now scram while you still have a jaw left.
"Okay, Browne, okay," I said, and made for the exit. It griped my hide to let a little rat like Ollie Browne keep his features intact without giving it to him the way that brings hospitals and plastic surgery, but I noticed the drape to the left of him moving in his office. I could tell someone was behind it, but I couldn't lamp who. "Scram while you still have a jaw left," he had said. He was trying to tip me off. There was something else about the way he shined me on. I thought about it as I cruised my boiler to Snacky's drugstore to follow up a hunch.
"Something?"
the soda jerker asked. She was a cute little number, with blonde locks, blue eyes, and a smile that could melt an ice castle. "Yeah, a Coca-Cola, and the time you finish at this joint, curly top."
"Well, aren't you straight to the point?"
She handed me the Coke.
"I leave here around 7:30, handsome. Don't be late."
I rang my friend Vinnie Paholsky of the Homicide Division and asked him to meet me later, around 7:30. At 7:30 on the dot, the dame came swaying out of the druggist's. She scoped me leaning against the wall puffing a Lucky.
"Here I am, handsome."
She smiled.
"Where are we going?"
"The Croakers, curly top, and don't argue, please."
"The Croakers? Well, you sure know how to show a lass a good time on the first date."
I opened the portal to my boiler for her and she slid inside. I screeched down the boulevard and pulled up outside the city morgue. I took her in the back where the stiff was on the gurney. "You recognize this stiff?" I yanked the white sheet back.
"No, I don't."
"Well, you oughta. You dosed him a fatal case of lead poisoning."
"Get back, smart pants."
She whipped a tiny semi-automatic out of her clutch and leveled it at my chest.
"I'm scramming out of here right now, and you're going to stand right there and watch me go. Otherwise, I feed you a lead pill without a prescription."
She ankled it backward toward the door, keeping me covered. When I rang my friend Vinnie Paholsky earlier, I had asked him to meet me here and wait outside just in case the dame pulled something. He slapped the Betty out of her hand while her peepers were still on me.
All right, Barlowe,
he grunted.
"Now what's all this about?"
"Take her to the clubhouse, then meet me at Ollie Browne's office. I'm about to slam the file on this case." Paholsky clipped the nippers on the dame and loaded her into his iron. I hopped into my boiler and stomped it back to Browne's office. I foamed out of my chariot and hoofed it up the stairs. I rang the buzzer and moved back so Browne couldn't scope me through the peephole.
"Yeah?"
He opened the door, rocking his pan back and forth to see who was there. I grabbed his collar and jerked him outside, slamming the portal shut.
"Thanks, Barlowe. So you rumbled my stew."
"Yeah, and now it's time to smoke out the cockroach in your office." I shoved him aside, kicked the door open, blazed my Roscoe, and rushed in. The mug fell from behind the curtain. His gun wrist was shattered and spurting ketchup like a geyser. My friend Vinnie Paholsky came rushing in with his heater drawn.
"Barlowe,"
he said as he lamped the scene.
"Just what in the name of who's it is going on?"
"Here's the skinny," I began. Felda Grand wanted to be an actress. She hopped in the back seat and bopped a schmuck who promised to make her famous. Then she found out the casting agent lied to her, so she drilled him. Her brother, the bird-leaking ketchup over there, helped her send the bozo to his maker.
I'm bleeding to death. Take me to the hospital,"
Felda's brother whined. "In a minute," I said. "I'm almost done." So after smoking the schmuck, Felda hid out as a soda jerker at Snacky's drugstore. Browne recognized her, so she sent her brother to make sure he kept his trap shut. When I barged in, he took a powder behind the curtain and kept Browne covered so he wouldn't stool, but I tumbled his clue. "A hunch like that won't get you further than the first druggist," he told me.
Are you going to take me to the hospital now?" "I don't know,"
Vinnie said.
"Is this how it went down? You can confess or bleed." That's the way it happened."
Felda's brother panted.
"Felda and I iced the chiseler for taking advantage of her the way he did."
Vinnie carted the mug off to the hospital. When they went to trial, the judge let them both off on probation on account that the niece of a friend of his had also been snowballed by that louse when she went to audition. It's funny how justice works sometimes. I took the Felda bim out on the date that we never got to go on just to show her that there weren't any hard feelings. Her brother, though, that was another story. That mug had plenty of reason to hold a grudge.